Welcome to the Barossa Light and Gawler match live stream of the day, coming to you from Freeling Oval. Today we've got a really compelling clash between traditional rivals Barossa District and Freeling. With me in the commentary position I've got Glenn Johns. He's just adjusting his equipment as we speak. He's complaining about the cold, but he's just going to have to get over that. It's going to be a long day for him if he keeps complaining, but this is going to be a really interesting contest. There's a lot on the line for both teams. Barossa need to win today to keep their finals hopes alive. And Freeling looking for their second win of the season in what's been a tough year of near misses all year it seems. They've been in a lot of games but not able to finish them off. Just their one win came against Williston about a month ago. Last week they were fantastic for 2.5 quarters. Today they're looking to put together a 4-quarter performance. Freeling a win in front of their home fans for the first time in several seasons would be so important for them momentum-wise going into 2023. Glenn, what do you think of today's matchup?
I think it's very cold here today, Mike.
And if you keep saying that, I'm going to start feeling the cold, so how about we move on from the cold? Beautiful conditions here at Freeling for football, though. Very slight wind going from the left of the screen to the right, so in the southerly direction. But the ground looks in fantastic conditions, good firm underfoot, and we should have perfect conditions for football. The reserves game going on now is a tough contest. Barossa winning easily, as expected. The under-17s, Barossa took that out comfortably as well. Freeling struggling a little bit on the field this season in the lower grades, but their A grade are starting to put together some good footy.
I'd say the wind's a bit brisker than you think too. I'd give it 2 to 3 goals, Michael, because it is quite blowy at times.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see who wins the toss and what they decide to do. My tip is that whichever team wins, they'll opt to use the wind in the first quarter and really set the tone. Freeling have been a very good team with their starts so far in 2022, and if they get a good start, they're going to be very hard to beat. Barossa will be very aware of that. I've spoken with a few people from the Bulldogs, and it's definitely a focus that they can't allow Freeling to get out to an early lead. If you're sitting at home wondering where that'd come down or not, there's still plenty of places on the fence to park your car. You can sit and watch the game in relative comfort. The canteen and the bar's open. Definitely a good day to come down here to Freeling Oval, watch some local footy action.
Make sure you bring your Nana blanket, though, to pop over your knees, because it's quite cold here, isn't it, Michael?
It is. That's why I'm suggesting that they can sit on the fence in their car.
Okay, yes, good call.
At least one of us is thinking, but it's going to be a really interesting day this afternoon. This game has got a lot on the line. Barossa, after a horror season last year, which both Barossa and Freeling endured. Barossa, like a phoenix from the ashes, Eric Kells has got them playing great footy. The team has really bought into his style that he's brought to the club from amateur league. And they are just playing with a level of confidence and belief that sees them. They've flown up the ladder after finishing 8th last season with, I believe, just the 2 wins over Freeling. And this is going to be... I'm thinking there's going to be an arm wrestle this afternoon.
Quite possibly. Are either team in finals contention, Mike?
Barossa are sitting 1 game behind the team sitting in the finals, which is Williston, who I think are going to drop out in the next week or 2. They likely will lose to Angaston today, and that will open up a real possibility for both Angaston, Kapunda and Barossa to move in. So Barossa need to keep winning. They can't afford to drop a game like this. And Freeling is a game they would have penciled in at the start of the year. But that was before we saw how good Freeling can play when they have their full team on the park. And they've got close to that this week. Last week, we saw them, their structure really troubled Tanunda. They were able to, when they moved the ball quickly out of the middle, Jonathan Ross and Adam Koshel up forward, along with Big Sam Carmichael, who's playing game number 201 today. They were really hard to stop. They were clear and concise in their ball movement, and when they move the ball in transition that well, they are hard to stop. As we see the quarter come to an end there in the reserves, so 3/4 time. A-grade teams now coming onto the ground to begin their warm-up. We'll take a little break and we'll be back with you at the start of the A-grade at 2:20. If it did. Teams just starting to go through their final warm-ups here at Freeling Oval as we're in the countdown towards the start of the game. Beautiful day of country footy. Kids out on the oval kicking the ball. Absolutely what country footy's about. Communities coming together. Kids getting out in the fresh air. Umpires calling in the captains now, so only moments away from the start.
Commentators freezing on the sideline. Don't forget them, Mike. Who are the umpires today, do you know?
We've got Mark Miles, the umpire's coach, and Matthew Patterson.
Right.
So they're the men in green, the men in charge of the game.
Captains don't seem to have noticed they've been called up yet. Still giving each other a cuddle at each end.
Well, maybe they've heard you talking about the weather.
It's possible. It's very cold.
This is actually quite warm compared to some weeks. See the Barossa players now heading to the bench. Already tossed.
I missed that.
Players heading to position now. Interesting setup in the middle. Adam Koshel will be taking the ruck for Freeling.
Jake
Hadju for Barossa, so not what we expected, not what we've seen previous weeks from these two teams, but they're trying to negate each other. Beautiful start there out of the middle for Barossa. Strong mark taken out on this flank. Ryan Gray, the mystery man of BLG footy. Freeling desperately trying to clear now. Player grabbed and he's taken the ground in a crushing tackle. Brady Griffiths fighting hard for the Bulldogs. He'll take this ruck tap. Freeling player able to gather. Henry Kleining, beautiful there, working through traffic. Gets the ball to a teammate who clears. Barossa player just took a nasty hit to the head. He's fallen backwards. Umpire comes in for a ball up. You see Rowan Nelson sort of gingerly making his way away from the contest. That's a magnificent tackle. Scotty Dutchke, that's what he does. He's a good in and under bull.
more than away from the contest. Nelson's already heading to the bench with some injury there, Mike.
Yeah, he looked pretty shaken up with that contest. Ball hacked back into the middle by Freeling, but Barossa District able to take advantage. Another deep entry into their forward line.
Good defence by Schultz there to pick it up. Didn't quite get the handball where he wanted it to go.
Well, he's new to footy. He's a former state hockey player. He's only been playing footy the last 2 years.
And a ball up.
Ball up just inside the forward pocket for Barossa District. Easy tap there for Koshel.
Just kind of stood his ground and thumped, didn't he?
He's a mountain of a man, and that's the advantage he does bring.
So is that the first score? Point? Did that go through? Can't quite see from where we are.
Not sure if the umpires bring that back for a free kick.
Oh, okay. No, throw in.
No. And Barossa player takes it out of the ruck. And that is goal of the day material straight away.
Well, it's goal of the day for the moment anyway.
It's the first goal of the match, brought to you by Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. So great start for the Bulldogs, just what they wanted.
Did you see who it was or couldn't pick it?
No, I wasn't absolutely sure. I'll pick that up on the replay later and we'll get that cut and put up as a highlight on Facebook during the week. And Sam's really happy about that. The king of AV. Ball up in the middle, neither team able to gain an advantage. So repeat ball up. Koshel with an easy tap down. Cut off by the Bulldogs. That's great work out of the middle. Coming out to this flank. Just ahead of Gray. That kick into the forward line just drifts over the boundary line out on the full.
So Schultz is to bring it in.
Goes down the line. Finds space. And Trey Gant with a good strong tackle, made sure the ball was going nowhere. Koshel just monsters his opponent out and gets the handball. Stolen by the Bulldogs. Quick hat kick into space, finds the Freeling player. Good handball back. Hits his teammate. And beautiful kick out of defence there.
Hales, that was.
Nick Hales came to the club this year from Port District. He's been a great pickup for them.
Casbout with a good mark in defence to send it
And
back forward.
great clearance there out to the outer wing. Finds Barossa player streaming for the ball. He's on his own. Kickle with a little chip kick into the forward line. Mark
Pryor.
just taken down, goes down by Pryor. Ball to the goal square. Well defended there.
Aaron Killen, good solid
Aaron
mark.
Killian, last week's mark of the week. He was close to best on ground for the Redlegs last week. Great defender, former Port District player himself. Played a little at Port Adelaide as well.
Was that out on the full? Or was it a throw in?
Either way, it'll be last touch.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be a Barossa District free kick. The ball will be coming straight back into the forward line.
So a chance for their, well, what's going to be likely to be their fourth inside 50 and yet to get up in the Freeling one.
Puts the ball up high. Demands it play. Brady Griffiths put himself under it. Got his hand to it. Unable to bring it down. A little bit of tunnel ball. Griffiths now around the corner. And eludes everyone, even the Freeling player who'd set himself back there as a goalkeeper. That was Schultz. He'd be offended at me calling him a goalkeeper because they're not very bright. Freeling, that drives that ball long and low. That's clever footy into the wind.
That's the captain, Ben Heinrich.
Strong mark taken by Heinrich. But that kick in, that's clever footy.
Not much an option though.
He drives it long and low as well. That's a good strong mark. Oliver taking that. Ball's cut off. That's the letdown in Oliver's game, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you could see how the ball held up in the wind. It is fairly strong out there, so it's kind of stopped.
A little chip kick for the Bulldogs. Smart mark taken.
Isaac Werner.
Young Isaac Werner. He's a young local player. Got a lot of potential. And a beautiful leading mark taken.
Ray McConnell.
Ray McConnell.
Just in the 50.
Handball's off to Darren Shillabeer running past. Shillabeer centres the ball. Good mark taken in defence for the Redlegs. Ball driven out. Umpire had to duck to get out the way. And Freeling player take it high in the middle of the ground.
Damien Coulthard. Chance for their first inside 50, Freeling here.
See that ball hold up in the breeze. Gives the Barossa defender a chance to run it down.
Technically it was one, but they didn't make much use of it. Only just snuck over the 50.
Good smart ball use from Freeling. They're just keeping possession at the moment as they're coming out of defence. Shillabeer makes a big lead in the middle of the ground, but they go longer than that. Finally, Rizik steaming out of full forward. He turns and kicks. He's got a player who's chopped off by the legs. He picks it up. Handballs backwards to a running Shillabeer. He chips and he kicks truly. That's first goal of the day for the big fella. A running goal, not normally his thing, but his agility, as we've seen this year, is far improved. That's another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. But Joey Cirillo will sell your property just about anywhere you want. Warning signs for Freeling early in the game as Barossa just moving the ball too easily out of defence. The wind probably playing more of a factor than we anticipated pre-game. That ball bounced, drifted a little, but goes Freeling's way. That hat kick around the corner into the forward line. Pack forms, no one able to take it.
Solid defence from District. Looks like they're going to get out of trouble.
Good work. Just going backwards, no panic. Kicking it out to the far side. That player taps the ball to his own advantage. Runs on.
Poor kick though.
And
cut off by Travis
Muster, the super veteran from Freeling. Pops it up to no one's advantage. And again, Barossa looking to clear the ball.
Bit of a theme for the day, isn't it? That districts are going to unmanned players and Freeling are kicking to packs and not really getting it. So.
And Shillabeer's made room in the middle of the ground. He's covering a lot of ground so far today. That's beautiful pass going forward. Strong mark taken. Handball's off to the running player. Probably puts it out too far in front of Griffiths. And he'll take that over the line. And
Alex Stone to kick it in. Goes across the goals.
Killian. Ball up in Barossa's forward line. That tap goes down. Freeling player able to gather. Tries to weave around a player. He's caught. That's holding the ball. That's great footy from the Bulldogs. Forward pressure. Sets up another shot on goal. Lee Rizik, the veteran. Good contact on the footy.
Drifted.
Just drifting across to the right. Made the decision to play for his club today rather than in the state country team at Adelaide Oval, which I personally agree with. I think that your club footy is a little bit more important, especially when your team is trying to make finals. Freeling fullback plays on, gets a lot of distance on that kick, but the mark is taken by the Barossa player, Brady Griffiths, and the ball will be coming straight back in. No Barossa player contested that, but no Freeling player went for it either. Players driven into the ground.
Given a free by the look of it, in the back, I guess.
Now Freeling got to work a way to weave their way out of Barossa's forward press. There's not a lot of movement coming for him.
No, not a lot. There's none.
So he's looking to clear the ball out to this side. Mark taken. Chips it out.
Hales trying to find someone to go
Alex
to.
Arthur.
Kicks it up high. No one's going to get that for Freeling.
No Freeling player ended up going for it. Barossa player dropped an easy mark. And that's a really strong contested mark taken there.
Alex Stone.
Ball pops out to this near side. We've got a Freeling player down off the ball. Looks like Killian. He's taken a fair hit. Ball in the middle. Barossa player was dragged away from the contest without the ball.
No, holding the ball, I think.
Holding the ball.
Yep.
Jonathan Ross wins the free kick for Freeling.
Bit of a
Kicks it out
shank.
into space. Finds Coulthard, who drives the ball deep.
This is their... I was going to say it's their best attack so far, but...
Barossa now moving the ball smoothly and quickly out of defence. Now going by hand into the middle. That player was tackled as he tried to handball. But Barossa good enough to hold their poise.
They've just got players everywhere, Mike, haven't they?
They're working in numbers. And that's a really great kick to Brady Griffiths, but well defended by Freeling. But the ball coming straight back in. And Rizik takes the easiest of marks on the lead. He'll be kicking from about 35 metres from goal on a fairly tight angle. But Freeling did all the hard work, got the ball into their forward line, turned it over, and Barossa moved the ball with such speed and precision that Freeling are shell-shocked. That's an easy goal for Rizik. And another goal brought to you by Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. Currently 14 minutes into the first quarter on the Ray White Craigmore time clock. Ball back to the middle. Barossa really starting to stamp their authority on this game. They look like they want that final spot. Freeling just treading water at the moment. Jonathan Ross into the ruck. He's beaten. But a strong tackle means we'll have a ball up in almost exactly the same spot. Ross stays down. He wins the ball. Kicks it deep. Freeling player gets the ball. Handballs backwards to Oliver, who's running towards goal. And taken down as he kicked. The ball lands in a Barossa player's arms. And again, Barossa will have the chance to clear here. They're taking their time. No panic at all.
Two players free across the ground. No one upfield yet.
They find a player on the 50 and just smart work by hands, and they keep running.
Oh, that's a big hit.
Held the ball a couple steps too long, and he's taken down just before he could kick it. That's a good hip and shoulder. That's why it needs to stay in the game. See the ball now.
Last touch.
So
Greg
Freeling
Schultz.
bring the ball in now. Pops it up.
Again.
And only Barossa players under the contest. Quick handball movement. And the ball lands on the chest of Lee Rizik, who was well ahead of his defender.
Oh, too easy.
That is the simplest of passes to Darren Schillerbeer, the most dangerous forward in the competition, and he's sitting there on his own. That is really poor defence from the Redlegs. And looks like their concentration levels just aren't where they need to be. Not anywhere near where they were last Saturday. Schillerbeer coming in now. Gets under that one, lets the wind do most of the work. And shanked it off to the left a little. All too easy for Barossa at the moment, and Freeling need to regroup here. I think Jonathan Ross might have to look at putting a player behind the ball just for a few minutes just to stop the bleeding.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next quarter with the wind. I mean, they've had 9 inside 50s and they've only got 3 goals, so that's The defenders are doing reasonably well, but they just get it in too easily, though, aren't they?
Yes, and if you keep getting it in at that rate, you're going to convert.
Yeah.
Freeling playing out to the defensive side as per normal. It's a long kick. Freeling player went for the mark, put it down. Barossa now with a repeat entry and find a player on his own, right on the boundary. Brad Pryor. He can bring the ball in now, deep into the forward line.
Shillabeer was free, he ignored him.
I'm not sure you'd want to burn Shillabeer too often. Goes for goal himself, just off to the left.
You probably have a little word to him about that at the quarter-time break.
I'm sure a couple of guys will, and when they watch the replay Monday night, it will be mentioned. Really coming down the near side now for the first time today. And Barossa District's at the fall of the ball, just more switched on, more aggressive. They just seem to want it more at the moment. Umpire Patterson balling up right in front of our commentary position. Ross gets two hands to the ball, eventually claims it, gets the handball out. Freeling handball goes back into traffic. Sam Daff now kicks into the middle of the ground.
No.
But the ball came off the inside of his foot, missed his target, and Barossa were able to chop it off. Pryor out on the other side with a good back handball. That ball comes straight back in, goes over that Barossa player's head. Now in a contest. Schultz defending like mad. And Alex Arthur takes the mark and played on, well smothered from Freeling. First bit of fight they've shown in a while. Players taken down in a tackle. Free kick. He chips out now. Finds a player in the middle of the ground. That kick going in. And a big mark taken there. Brad Pryor, just all too easy for the Bulldogs. They got targets 5 metres in front of their defender. Seems to be the case every time they go forward.
They're also kicking to their targets much quicker. Like we had over here on the wing, there were several options for a handball, but he ignored them all and then did a poor kick and turned it over. So you got to take your chances when you get them.
It's confidence and clear decision making. And that's a nice goal. Pryor with his first for the day, and another goal brought to you by Ray White Craigmore, the premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. And yes, it is far too easy for the Bulldogs at the moment. It's Freeling need to go back to the basics and get them right. Just playing one-on-one, having contact with your opponent, not letting that 5 metre clearance.
Well, too often the Barossa districts are unmarked. It doesn't matter where on the ground it is. They're just got a paddock around them and not sure where the Freeling boys are.
Ross with the tap. Unfortunately, Barossa player read that best. He slams the ball into the forward line. Freeling player grabs the ball, heads over the line with it. That was Hales. Boundary throw in now. Hales did the ruck work, tapped it to himself. Handball comes out to Muster. He found a player, Daff, who was tackled as he kicked it.
One step too many, wasn't it?
It was pretty hot for holding the ball, but...
Well, we had a couple of steps before he got tackled, so...
So Barossa bringing the ball back in now. It's a common theme. Well defended back there on the last line and tapped over for a minor score. Daff coming in now, comes down the near side, gets good distance and a big mark taken there by his coach, Jonathan Ross. He wheels around, drives it low. That's better ball movement.
Yep, best play they've had so far. 3 kicks, but they're still only on the wing and nothing up ahead.
Fraser Mann now going deeper and finds player at centre forward. It's Benny Heinrich, his captain. He drives the ball forward. But again, to a contested situation, Barossa player was in front of Adam Koshel. Perfect positioning for a defender when you're playing on a guy of that size. And a free kick going Freeling's way. No, going Barossa's way.
No, going Freeling's.
Umpire signalled.
We're all confused. It's Coulthard's got it.
So Coulthard does have the free kick. He had it in his hands originally.
Chance for their first goal, Mike.
Chance for their first shot on goal.
Oh, that's
and
true.
He should be able to convert from here. He's been a handy pickup in the second half of the season.
The wind's dropped off a little bit, so...
Drives it low anyway. Straight through the middle. First goal for the Redlegs. They are on the board finally. And the score currently 4-5 Barossa Districts, leading Freeling 1 goal straight on the Birds Barossa scoreboard. And of course that goal brought to you by Ray White Craigmore, the premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. So the ball coming back to the middle. Freeling, let's see if that can spark a little bit for them. The ball movement was better there. There was real intent every time they got the ball. Started with Jonathan Ross. He's got to make an impact. He gets the tap again in the middle.
Over the shoulder, no.
Barossa player took the ball. He was taking the ground straight away.
Freeling player.
Ross again gets his hand to the ball.
When Ross is in ruck, they're having a bit better success, aren't they?
Yes, he seems to be positioning himself a little bit better and making sure that they don't lose the contest. Ball coming forward now easily for Barossa. Shilabir to drive the ball in. He puts the ball right up high and says, go and get it. Brady Griffiths almost did. Freeling now clearing. Finds Coulthard on that outer side. He's working hard up and down that outer wing. That little chip kick finds
just the bare 15, I'd say.
15.2.
Can't be much time left, Mike.
No. We had 24 minutes gone in the first quarter on the Ray White Craigmore time clock. That kick around the corner for Barossa. Kicks truly. There's a goal. Again, Freeling just can't seem to escape Barossa's momentum at the moment. It's another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs.
And it was Ross, I think, wasn't it? Did he get that? I think he... No. Who do you reckon got it then? Oh, Shilabir.
Yes, Darren Shilabir with his second goal of the day. Clear tap for Ross, gets it down. Freeling with a quick hack kick out of the middle. Players on hands and knees. Freeling get the ball into their forward 50. Barossa trying to clear it. Well cut off. Handball just misses Dutchke. Finds a Barossa player who's able to clear. Gets it out to space. Finds a teammate on the boundary. Even those clearing kicks are finding Barossa players because they're playing in front. That one contested, goes to ground. Shilabir chasing it on the deck now. Freeling player defends it well. That was Hales. Handballed it to himself, which is a good way to rack up stats. Freeling moving the ball down the outer side. Went to play on, so it's cold to play on. Yep. That kick just finds a teammate.
Caught it just above the dirt. You don't have a lot of time, boys. I'd hurry it up if I were you.
He goes long and low. Ball hits turf.
And
Barossa really clearing up well out of defence. It's been a hallmark of their first quarter. Moving the ball cleanly down this side now. That handball back into the middle. Left foot kick goes forward. Freeling defender Killian was actually in front on this occasion and took the mark. That's probably a good sign.
But the siren's gone.
Siren's gone. End of the first quarter here at Freeling Oval. Barossa District well and truly in charge. score currently 5 goals, 5, 35. Barossa leading Freeling 1 goal straight, 6 points on the Birds Barossa scoreboard. And that's probably a fair reflection of where the game's at. Freeling completely outplayed in that first quarter. Barossa moving the ball with confidence and precision. Where did you see the biggest deficiency for Freeling?
They're not running. They're standing still and they're not finding open space. Is the most obvious thing. They're playing behind all the time, as we said several times during the call. They're just not confident enough. Whereas Barossa Districts, they've got all the run, their legs are going, and they're enjoying it by the look of it.
Yes, it's the difference between a team that's got finals to play for and one that doesn't is probably the easiest way to describe it at the moment. Barossa are on a mission and they are playing to win the game because they know that if they win, there's something on the end of it for them. Freeling probably going through the motions a little bit. It's late in the year. It's been another tough season for them. They've had a few of those in the last decade or so. But it's now time for Jonathan Ross to show us what he can conjure up for the Redlegs. He, along with Roger James, who's assistant coach, they've got to find... They're talking at the back of the huddle now. They're trying to find a solution. I think going man on man across the ground when Barossa get on top would be a great way to stem the flow and just get it back on level terms.
Yep, I totally agree. Accountable football is what they need.
But also when they get the ball, their players need to work into space, and something they haven't done through the first quarter. They get the ball and they're flat-footed and waiting for their teammate who's got the ball to do something miraculous, and that's just not going to happen. It's selfish footy and they need to start playing team football. See the timekeepers just give the umpires a little bit of notice that they're ready to go.
And just looking at the flag across the ground that I've been keeping an eye on, it's dead straight, going down, pointing down. As Freeling get a chance to kick in the direction the wind's going, there seems to be none. So that's kind of symbolic so far.
It's been pretty gusty and changeable so far, so hopefully for the Redlegs' sake it does pick up a little bit.
And the boys on the scoreboard are finally catching up. They've been a goal and a point behind for most of the game.
It's par for the course, unfortunately. But good on them for getting up there and doing it. Again, it's part of community footy. Everyone's involved. And it is the heart and soul of country communities. As we see Sam starting to put up the weather contingencies to shield himself from us. I think he's had enough of us so far.
I hope he hasn't been looking at the weather map and worked out he needs to get some protection around the equipment. What about your commentators? Don't we need protection as well, Sam?
Apparently we're expendable, but I'd agree with that. See the Freeling players making their way back out to their positions now. Barossa still in their huddle. He's getting last-minute instructions from Eric Kells, who's really got his team firing at the moment. That all eyes are on him. They are buying into his philosophies beautifully. He's brought a lot to the club this year. I think he's a long-term prospect for the Bulldogs, and I think that there's quite a bit of success coming.
Where's he from, Mike?
He coached at Golden Grove the last few years, but prior to that he played a lot of football for Goodwood Saints in Division 1 in the Amateur League.
Yep.
And was probably the best forward in the Amateur League for a number of years. One of the truly great players of the modern era. So this quarter is where it's all on the line for Freeling. If they can't find a way to peg back Barossa's momentum, they are going to be in a world of hurt for the rest of the game. Ball up now. tap goes Freeling's way. Coulthard gets the ball off to a teammate. But good smother there from Barossa. Oliver picks the ball up. He wheels around onto his left. That little ball pops up into the air. Barossa player was playing in front. That's smart defending. He takes the mark now. He settles things down a little bit at centre half back. Calls a few players to come at him. But he's not going to play on rashly. That's a good kick through the middle ground. Finds Shillabeer. Best target you can find. He goes across the ground. Just too far for his teammate. That handball backwards. Finds the player who's facing goalwards. That ball just missed the chest of his teammate. Goes to ground. Freeling looking to clear now. But Barossa
out on the full.
Out on the full, so Freeling got a chance now. We'll see how they move the ball without the wind in their face. Unfortunately, too many players standing still once again for Freeling. If you were the player with the ball, you'd hate to see this. There's one or two players starting to move now, but there's just a lot of standing around. Ball goes out to space. Barossa District player gets his hands to it. He gets the handball.
And hit hard again.
Got hit hard. He was taken down, but he's up. He's okay. Ball in dispute now. Coulthard went at it hard. He won it. Spun through with a handball. Barossa are able to get the crumbs. Ball comes forward now. Big Sam Carmichael under that. He was well defended. Barossa with the handball. They're weaving their way back out of trouble again. Beautiful low kick coming out of defence. Hits a target. Barossa, this is just a joy to watch, the way they move the ball out of defence. Look at that transition. 2 kicks and the ball's hitting a target 30 metres out from goal.
40 metres out from goal.
Possibly. Yeah, started with Isaac Werner down here in the back pocket. Young player on the rise for the Bulldogs, one of their local talents. Brendan Dew also starting to get a lot of the football. He's going to have a big impact on this game. Coming in now. Just touched before it can go over the goal line and rush over for a minor score.
Where's Koshel? Can you see him out there? I haven't actually seen him out there this quarter. I don't know if he's injured or not, or what's going on.
No, he could be on the bench at the moment having a rest. Ball comes into the middle of the ground. No one able to get to it, but the free kick going Freeling's way. Player was impeded. So now they're looking for someone to work for them. They've got that.
Austin Poulton.
Aussie Poulton. He wheels around onto his left. Well defended. Falls into the arms of Sam Carmichael. That handball back. Finds a teammate who puts it through.
Again. The only scorer for Freeling at the moment. He's got
Coulthard,
both of them.
He's working hard. His teammate's got to take a leaf out of his book. He's covering a lot of ground to be effective. And I think he's got to have a few guys look at him and go, well, maybe that is working. But that was better ball movement from the red leg.
It was a better series of play from the whole team then. So they're a bit quicker, a bit more pointed kicks as opposed to just the front of a pack. Who knows?
But there was movement, and that's what allowed them to move the ball quickly. When you've got players leading out in front, demanding the footy. There's going to need to be a lot more of that. And Sam Carmichael, there was a contest, but he created enough for his team to be able to capitalise. As we see Freeling coming out of the middle again. That ball just fell short of the Freeling player. He's jumped on. So we'll have a ball up just inside the forward 50. Ball comes to ground. Barossa at the back of the contest. Dew smartly just kicks the ball out wide. It's a low driving kick.
Well picked up on the half volley.
Brady, that was beautiful.
Oh, it was either too high or in the back, so he got the free kick either way.
So now he needs players to work for him. He's got players running away from him rather than to him. But
Coulthard again.
the one player who's done a lot of work for the Redlegs, he goes back and he's looking for movement. Heinrich leads. He goes over that, looking for Carmichael. Well defended there. Barossa concede a bit of ground, go backwards, find Dew. He finds a target outside the 50. Again, delicious movement from the Bulldogs.
Handball to no one there. Could be a... No. Is it deliberate? Yes, it is, I think.
Ball driven forward, too easy for the Bulldogs. Finds Rizik, probably 30, 35 metres from goal.
Too easy.
That is simple stuff for the Bulldogs. Just playing right into their hands. Rizik up forward, he's pure class. And yes, another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs, and Barossa District's doing it easily at Freeling. Barossa are going to have to keep this up, but Freeling really need to find a way to just shut something down now.
Must be a bit heartbreaking because they worked pretty hard then for a while. Freeling had a good few minutes of play and then doesn't take 30 seconds and McConnell's kicked another goal for the Districts.
Good clearance out of the middle there, Barossa. And another mark taken, Lee Rizik. He's taken it just inside the 50. That short kick finds a target. That's beautiful leading. Beautiful. The kick advantaged him that no one else had a chance at it. That is superb skill.
It was a lovely overhead mark. It's good to see that on the run.
Going to be kicking from about 30, 35 metres from goal. Almost no angle to speak of.
Goal umpire hasn't
Brady
moved.
Griffiths kicks through the easiest of goals. So another goal for the Bulldogs, another goal for Ray White Craigmore, and more pain for the Redlegs. We're not yet 8 minutes into the second quarter on the Ray White Craigmore time clock, and the score is blowing out badly in Barossa's favour. And there's Kosher with a big tap. Dew now gets the ball, turns back. He's putting it out into space, bounces over his teammate's head, but he recovers well, lays a big tackle. Brady Griffiths been really impressive all season. Kosher wins the tap again. Two Barossa players jump on the footy to make sure it goes nowhere. The tap didn't really favour anyone. Comes out to Barossa. Freeling now. They drive it forward. Heinrich competes.
Too long.
Coulthard had the ball, evaded several players. He's taken down. Free kicks paid. Now there's a little bit of a scuffle. Barossa going forward. Griffiths is thrown out of the contest. And that ball just punched through.
No, is there a free?
It's a free kick paid for after disposal. High tackle, possibly.
Number 3.
And another goal for the Bulldogs.
And he goes to fetch the ball himself after kicking it.
He wants another chance quickly. He wants, while he's hot. Jake and Shillabeer, he's the kind of player you don't want to let get this hot. Once he's hot, he will look at a bag of 10. Sitting second to the goal kicking at the moment. A big bag today will close that gap. Neither ruckman really able to affect that ball up. Different approaches. The Barossa ruckman tried to jump over the top. Koshel stayed down.
Just uses his body, doesn't he?
He is
Gets
just
into
so
position.
strong. And with the clearance there, that's possibly a high tackle, yes. Going Barossa's way. Worcester begrudgingly throwing the ball back. Jake Tobin, the fastest player in the Barossa side, drives that ball out to the outer flank. No one able to take the mark. Oh no, Griffiths did actually take the mark. It was so unlikely that I didn't think he'd taken it.
He was right at the bottom of the pack and he stood up and he had the ball.
Turn and a disappointing kick.
That's not a disappointing kick. Oh no, just clipped the post.
But would have been a miraculous goal. Would have been another contender for goal of the day. Freeling looking to bring the ball back in now. They need some movement. Worcester gives them just that in the back pocket. Barossa crumbing the packs well. Finds the player on the lead. Ball was out of bounds though, so boundary throw in deep in Barossa's forward line. Koshel just throws his opponent out of the contest. Ball well taken there by McConnell. The handball, Freeling able to clear the ball.
Sort
Two
of.
Barossa players in the area. That ball smothered. So will be contested now. Oliver goes for it. He's spun around. I'll see a boundary throw in just around from the Freeling bench.
But you saw how fast Dew was after that ball, wasn't he? He really wanted to get there. He was a long way off and he made the contest. So
Yes, work rate is something that he's well known for. He's an absolute
Slung?
professional the way he goes about it. Sling tackle there.
no, he held on too long, but yeah. So Kleinig's got the free for Freeling.
Looking for Heinrich. Well defended. Barossa just calm under pressure. Their backline working beautifully at the moment. Hales fighting hard. Shillabeer chasing the ball on a third effort. Freeling breaking out of the contest now, driving it forward. Players under the ball, no one able to take it cleanly. Ross was well tackled there. So we'll have a ball up probably 35, 40 metres in front of Freeling's goal, directly in front. Ross gets his hand to the footy, gets it down, but a plethora of Barossa players around the footy. Comes out to a contest. Schultz is taken high. Strong tackle, drives the player into the
Mitchell
ground.
Lovell attacked by two Barossa Districts players. That's symptomatic of the game.
Koshel
He's
trying to muscle his player out of the way.
giving away the free
Gives
there.
away the free. Hard not to do when you're that strong. Hadji with a long driving kick. That's a beautiful mark taken in defence by Daff.
Koshel's just giving away another free kick down the ground, Mike.
And he is susceptible to that. Loses his temper too easily for a player of his ability and cost his team on a regular basis.
And I think he heard you the way he looked at you, the camera just then. I think you're...
I didn't notice that, but if he did, that's not my problem. He needs to realise that he's an idiot at times. Costs his team.
And he's being dragged too.
And that's exactly what should happen. That's good coaching. That sets an example for all the young players in the Freeling side. And from that, Barossa have set up another shot on goal.
But they haven't got it. Just hooked away to the right.
So wasted opportunity for the Bulldogs, but more pain for Freeling. Really just not looking to be in the running at this stage. There's no winners on the field for the Redlegs. Barossa moving the ball now, coming just into the forward line. Sorry, Freeling going forward, and Barossa able to mark cleanly in defence. Moving the ball with impunity. Freeling trying to lock him in now. They go by hand. That ball holds up in the wind. Barossa player attacks the ball.
A free kick there that I'm not sure was there, but that's what the umpire's called. Hayden
That
Emery.
ball chopped off nicely.
And it's Lovell again. That's his second in about 2 minutes, isn't it? Good defensive mark.
Yes. And he brings the ball forward, finds Heinrich. He goes long, looking for Sam Carmichael, hits the big man on the chest.
Go on, you got the wind behind you. Let's seek a big talk.
The flag is almost not moving, so his kick disappointingly lands at the feet of Rizik. Picks the ball up beautifully. Finds a teammate. They're willing to concede the ground because they know they've got guys who are going to get it. That ball, beautiful coming out, finds Rizik. He plays on, takes a bounce, takes another. Who's just taking the mickey now. That handball forward, hits teammate on the run, driving the ball right to the goal square.
Oh, lovely.
And a mark
Brad
taken.
Pryor.
Too easy for the Bulldogs. That's a good, strong mark. That's a great transition of play.
Yep,
Rizik.
it's called coast to coast, isn't it?
It is. Rizik just made it look so easy. It was almost a joke. Just beautiful footy. As we see Brad Pryor going back to take another shot on goal. He's missed some today. Hopefully this one he'll be able to get right through the middle.
He'll be his second if he does.
Coming in now. Tugged that a little bit, but has just squeezed it in. So that's his second goal for the day, and another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. As we're getting heckles from the crowd. So too easy again for Barossa. I'd love to know how many marks they've taken inside the forward 50.
Oh, let me just check. I haven't been keeping
A
that
lot.
stat. Right. Oh, sorry, a lot, I meant.
That's the technical figure. You see umpire Patterson coming back in again. Hadju goes up against Ross. Coulthard wins the ball. Ducks out of trouble. The handball was cut off by Hadju, who followed up well. That's what you need at your ruckman to butter up again after the tap. Ball kicked across goal. Griffiths picks it up. Good handball back. Ball going forward. Just missed Rizik. Gave him too big a task. Tumbles out of bounds. See Freeling looking to move the ball.
Go back again. Didn't take it far enough around, apparently, according to the umpire.
A little bit pedantic.
Quite a lot pedantic.
So now Freeling are hemmed in. Barossa have had the chance to lock it in.
And he kicked it from pretty much the exact same spot he kicked it the first
and
time
found
around.
Hales. Players now starting to work for him.
Yep.
This is better.
There's movement, but there's just not space, unfortunately.
And pushing the back, going Freeling's way. Probably unnecessary. Could have had the jump. A lot of voice coming from behind, though. Really good talk from Barossa. That kick gets a little bit of air under it, goes over the head of the player he intended it for. So Barossa a chance to clear here. That ball into the middle, a little bit of wind effect. Wisely, he takes the handball, finds Shillabeer out on that wing. Shillabeer's had a ton of the footy today.
He's working a long way down.
He is working and covering as much ground as the midfielders. That low driving ball, Shillabeer again.
Just a good spoil by Coulthard, otherwise he could have had there could have been another shot for goal there for Central.
Coming in high ball, falls short of Carmichael. Barossa player punches the ball towards goal. He follows up on it. That's great defending. Just such poise. That was Alex Stone. He's a multiple premiership player. He doesn't panic. Bulldogs just moving the ball beautifully now.
Got a Paddock to run in. It's going to take a few more bounces.
He's had 3 bounces. That was great play from Tobin. Unfortunately, Freeling able to take that ball in defence.
Good mark.
Good defending. He's been good back there, Hales. Finds Polton. Sorry,
Coulthard.
Coulthard finds the veteran Dutchke in the middle. Oh, sorry, now they find Dutchke. He puts his head over the ball. He's taken high.
A little bit lucky there.
Last week in the AFL it wouldn't have been paid, but this is country footy. We still look after the player going for the ball. He looks for a target. He finds him.
Killian, solid mark.
Killian's a good mark of the footy. He's drifted forward a little bit.
Worm burner just makes the 15.
He's found his target. And he's going to launch it right to the goal square, looking for Carmichael. Big man's bodied under the ball.
He just picked it up and did not do anything with it. I'd call ball too if I was the umpire.
Well, the umpire didn't, but all the Freeling players did. Ball up just in the top of the goal square. Carmichael against Griffiths. Carmichael gets the tap. Dew is slammed into the ground as soon as he grabbed the ball.
5 on 5.
So we'll have a repeat. Carmichael versus Griffiths. Third man up.
I got to say that's a rule I miss in the AFL. I wish that would come back.
Ross now with the ruck work. He gets a clean tap. Was looking for Coulthard.
So it's that deja vu feeling all over again as we have our 5th ball up in about 30 seconds.
Ross gets a clean tap. Finds a Barossa player.
Oh.
He's wrapped up.
That was pretty hot. Could have been too high, but ping for holding the ball. So Coulthard could keep his record of being the only Freeling goal scorer alive. He's dead in front. How far out is he, Mike?
He is probably going to be kicking from 40. Probably 37 to 40. I'd have to get a theodolite out to work it out accurately from here. He kicks beautifully.
Got it. Lovely.
Goal umpire doesn't have to do a lot. That's another goal for Ray White Craigmore and another goal for Coulthard, who he's worked hard for the Red Legs today and he's made a lot happen. I think a few other players need to look at his work rate and try to emulate that. Even if you don't get the ball, you make things happen around you. There's an old saying in sport that the ball finds energy.
Is that an old saying? I've never heard that saying before.
Well, perhaps you don't watch enough sport.
Maybe I don't. How old is it? When does it go back to?
I couldn't tell you the exact date. About 2 minutes ago.
The ball finds energy. I must remember that one. I'll write it down now.
See another ball up in the middle of the ground. Another repeat. Coulthard was being held onto, got thrown into the ground. He's won a free kick, I think.
Takes his shoe off.
Just drops the boot to the ground. He handballs off to a running player. Killian drives the ball long. Carmichael stayed down at the back, unable to get the ball. That clearing handball almost put his player in danger. Could have been well cleaned up, but the Freeling players showed restraint. Ross took the ball out of the ruck contest, put her on his boot. Freeling's driving for it now. And holding the ball, Barossa player didn't get rid of it cleanly. That's a good decision from the umpire.
They've been working harder in the last half of this quarter, Mike. They're not getting the rewards they probably want, but at least they're making it more of a contest of it.
They are a lot more competitive at the moment, and if they can keep that up, good things will happen. Coming in now. He sprays that off to the right.
Point or out?
Out on... just waiting for the replay now.
Since Sam's put his sheet up, we can't actually see all of the goals. So
thanks, Sam.
Missed everything.
Missed everything. So the ball coming back now. G looking to clear the ball. Gets the ball up and under, so the wind holds it. Heinrich with a handball. That kick goes in. That hack off the ground, really effective for Barossa. Finds the boundary. That's a good result for them. Really stymieing Freeling's attempt to gain some traction. Good throw in. Clears the ruckman. And that's the siren to end the second quarter, end the first half here at Freeling Oval. Currently Barossa well in control of this game. Currently leading 9-goal 8-62 to Freeling 3-goal straight 18 on the Burge Barossa scoreboard. So straight kicking again from Freeling, but just not generating enough shots on goal to really compete.
To be fair, I'm no expert at keeping these stats, but I make it that there were 10 inside 50s for both teams that quarter, so that's a big improvement from 15 to 4 in the first quarter. So at least Freeling are putting up a fight, and they're having a chance to score goals. They scored 2 then, so that's double what they got in the first one. So
yes, definitely an improved effort. Mostly in the second half of that quarter, they gained a lot of momentum, but they weren't able to capitalise, and therefore it's wasted effort.
Yep.
On the scoreboard, in terms, it's wasted effort, but there's something for them to take out of that effort. They can actually point to it and say, look, this was working, we're just not finishing off. And while they had the ball, it means that Barossa didn't have it and weren't able to do any damage going the other way. But when Barossa got the ball, it was still too easy.
Yep. Well, it was 4 goals to 2 that quarter. The Barossa district's up, as opposed to 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter. So, you know, just looking at it from that point of view, they've managed to stem the tide a little bit and do some good stuff themselves. So,
yes, definitely better players so far in the game. Brendan Dew's been electric for the Bulldogs. He's covering a lot of territory. Darren Shillaby has probably covered more than anyone else. Rather than just playing centre-half forward, he is roving across the entire field at the moment. Lee Rizik's been fantastic for the Dogs. Has given them a great target up forward, and when he gets the ball outside the 50, his delivery is superb. Down back, they've had a lot of great players.
Oh, the whole back line's just worked really well
the
together.
The back six has just been a tightly knit unit, and they've worked perfectly. But for Freeling, Coulthard is the one standout for me. I think he's been sensational. Hales has been good down back. He's worked hard. But apart from that, I think there's too many players that have been sort of floating.
Or struggling, perhaps, is a better word.
Struggling can be put that way, but it's the lack of movement when Freeling have had the ball in the first half that for me is unforgivable, and effort is a skill, and if you're not willing to execute that skill, you're going to get beaten badly.
Is that an old saying as well in sport, or
No, it's just an opinion.
just an opinion? Okay.
Who are your better players for the first half so far?
Well, pretty much everyone you named. I think Ross had moments where he was, particularly when he was in ruck, and the ruck contest he was in, he seemed to do quite well in. Yeah, it's hard to pull out too many others, I think.
So a strong lead for Barossa at this stage at half-time of the game. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with you for the third quarter shortly.
me running. Oh. He didn't do anything.
As the second half gets underway here at Freeling Oval. Quick clearance for Barossa. Koshel back into the ruck after his disciplinary stint on the bench. Joel Cochran working hard out there. Gives the ball up, unfortunately. Barossa now moving the ball down the outer side. Brady Griffiths.
Out.
He takes the mark, but no, just inside the field of play.
Is it a mark or is it out on the full?
Umpires conferring. A little bit of confusion here. Not just with the umpires.
So they're making him do it again for some reason.
He brings the ball back in. Rizik was out in front, but the ball just landed at his feet. And Freeling happy to run the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in, just around from Barossa's goal. Quick hat kick around the corner there.
Celebration
That's
suggests.
very early goal for the Bulldogs. Beautiful roving.
Did you see he did it? I didn't catch it, Mike.
No, I just missed it. I'm just checking the replay now.
Dew, was it?
No, just missed it. Unfortunately, Sam didn't provide us with quite the right picture, but we'll get back onto that later. But first blood for the Bulldogs in the second half. Just what Freeling didn't want. Ball comes down and quick clearance for the Dogs. Straight back into attack and bang. That should have been a mark. Dropped.
McConnell, yep. Dropped what should have been an easy mark and then a
Had
pretty
two
easy
hands
shot.
to it. No pressure from behind. So ball up. Freeling player coming through is wrapped up immediately. That's great tackling.
Uh-oh. Coulthard's wiggling his leg.
Yeah, Coulthard went down hard. He's up. He's limping a little.
He's down.
Down again. Looks like an ankle.
Umpire's called time off while he works out what's going on. Are they calling for the stretcher? What's going on?
Not sure.
Do they have a stretcher?
They will have a stretcher on hand.
Well, that's bad news for Freeling if your only goal scorer and possibly best player on the day isn't well enough to continue. He's hopping as opposed
Freeling
to putting...
runner is trying to help him at least out of the immediate area. Now a trainer joins in. They'll chair him off.
Half chair him. Haven't seen that technique before, where you lift one leg, but there we go. Now they've sorted it out. Unfortunately, Sam hasn't been following that action. He's focused on where the ball's about to be, so...
Go easy on Sam. He is the king of audio-visual. 180 Creations. If you want anything done, hit them up. See, umpire Miles has got the ball. The ball up probably 25 metres from the top of the goal square. Killian in the ruck. flying shot goes almost straight up in the air. Players on it. That's a great falcon from Brady Griffiths. He's a bit shaken after that. Took the ball straight on the schnoz.
Oh, great mark.
Really
Young-
good mark.
young Charlie Oliver kept his eye on it. Yep.
Footballer.
Going away from him over his shoulder and kept it on. That's a less great mark from Jonathan Ross.
Griffiths up against Koshel. Griffiths gets a tap, follows it up, gets another ensuing tap. Koshel goes down, grabs the ball. He's wrapped up. So umpire Miles comes in and he'll ball it up, almost in the same spot where the boundary throw-in came to. Koshel just takes the space, gets the tap down. Freeling players driven into the turf. Stutchke, he's getting up. Often the last to get up. He gives the ball back to the umpire.
And again, no ruck for
Koshel
Districts.
with the clearing kick. Opportunity for the Redlegs now. Great pickup, turns around, kicks on the left, just into space, bounces over the top of that contest.
If he can pick it up, there's an open goal, but no.
Freeling players fighting over the ball.
That beautiful Aussie rules bounce there tricked everyone.
The unpredictability of the oval-shaped ball makes this game unique.
I don't know why they just make it round. Wouldn't that be easier, Mike, if they just had a round ball?
There's already a sport out there with a round ball, and it's not that good.
Okay, all right. Just throwing ideas at you, buddy.
You're an ideas man, that's for sure.
What if it was almost round with just a couple of little points on it? Would that make it easier? Nope. Okay. So, ball up. Still in Freeling's 50.
Barossa players just shovel the ball forward till a teammate grabs it. He slams it on the boot. Rizik under it. He's well defended. He stands his ground. Gathers. That's beautiful work from the veteran.
So Pryor.
Finds Brad Pryor about 35 metres from goal. He'll be kicking from 40. There's no breeze to speak of at the moment.
This could be his third goal for the match.
That was fantastic from Rizik out on the outer flank. Coming in now. Leans back. Gets plenty under it.
Doesn't quite carry.
Doesn't actually make the distance. Spoiled over for a minor score. Actually went out of bounds, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Flying kick out of the contest. Now we've got a minor score. Dash to bring the ball in. Finds Dutchke here in front of the camera position. Dutchke plays on with haste. Just out of the outstretched arms of his teammate.
Damien Nangle with a good spoil there. Just got the fist up in time.
Lockie Heinrich almost got to that. But that was good intent from Dutchke. He moved the ball quickly. Killian doing the ruck work for the Redlegs now. Earns a free kick. Forward. That's a great mark from behind.
Bray McConnell, I think.
That was Nangle.
Nangle again.
Once again, two good marks in a row from him. Ball goes forward for Freeling and really strong mark taken there from Worcester.
Not a mark.
Not paid a mark. Not paid, not long enough apparently, but ball comes down. Muster reads it well. Cleared by Daff, just up in the air.
Oh.
Free kick going the way of Kleinig. He comes with a little short kick this side to Oliver. He's got movement ahead. Barossa players bring the ball to ground.
Good tackle.
Tobin tackled well there, holding the ball. He tried
Played
to
on
get around.
advantage.
Better
Top of the
movement.
square. Is that a mark?
Yes, it is. That's better movement from the Redlegs. Gave their big forward an opportunity to play one-on-one. And looks like Jonathan Ross has taken a really good mark. Yes, he has. He's going to be taking a shot on goal. That's good movement. With their big forwards, if you give them a chance one-on-one with the ball put in the right spot, they're almost impossible to beat.
And he becomes the second goal scorer for Freeling.
And another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. But Joey Cirillo will sell your property just about anywhere. If you want it, he'll find it. So Freeling hit back there and sort of just keeping Barossa on the chain at the moment. But that was better ball movement. It started down here in front of our commentary position. Charlie Oliver had the ball. He was determined to move it quickly. Demanded players come at him. Umpire about to come in the middle now. Koshel's back in the ruck for Freeling.
Just looking over to my left, the good news, Mike, is that Coulthard. No? Sorry, I thought he was about to come back on.
That's one of the Schultz twins coming back on. Freeling with the clearance. Barossa were able to regain the ball. Kicking it back into the middle. They've found Shillabir on his own. He turns, he plays on. He's driving the ball goalwards.
I think he's got it.
And he's nailed a goal from
outside 50.
Probably 65 metres out. That is a monster goal from the big man, and another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. But Darren Shillabir is having an absolute field day today. How many's that now?
4 for him. He equals Freeling's score.
He was 10 goals behind the leading goal scorer, Dean Cutting, before the start of the game. So he's slowly closing that gap.
Assuming Dean isn't scoring any right now.
Yes. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
That's why I'm here.
Koshel under the ball now. Stays down. Gets the tap. Quick handball out. Barossa clearing now. Taking the bounce. He ducks and weaves. That little chip kick just misses everyone. Muster cleans up. That handball goes to space. Ends up over the boundary line, so that'll be a last possession free kick for Barossa.
And I must say, it's getting a bit gloomy here. Getting a bit darker. The clouds are a bit grayer. Not quite as pleasantly sunny as it was at the
And
start.
a good strong mark taken there by Muster. He's always rock solid in defence. Clears the ball to this side. Daff goes back to find Muster in the goal square. He's got options aplenty at the moment. Goes low. Probably not the best option.
No.
Rizik
Possibly
crumbs
the worst
that.
option.
Runs around on the right foot and kicks another goal.
And that's really got to hurt Freeling because there are a lot of boys on the near side who are
Yes,
working hard.
screaming for the ball
and
open.
Ignored, kicked across the face of goal, and bang.
And another goal for Rizik. And just like a little stab in the heart with a very small knife, that one for the Redlegs.
Oh, you're quite a poet, Michael. It's a little stab in the heart with a very small knife. That's lovely. Is that another sports saying?
No.
No? Okay.
No, that's an original.
That's an original, a tackle original.
And of course, another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. Back to the middle now. Freeling looking to just shut things down a little bit. Koshel just went to smash the ball, missed it.
Great tackle.
Barossa player wrapped up and is just was almost slammed. He took Killian down. Killian now with the free kick. Kicks out wide, hits the target.
It's just taking too long.
Yes, this is where they needed to have good ball movement. He goes long and high. It's to a contest. Comes to ground, and Barossa is so good at working this out. Just clear. They hit targets. They don't mess around. That ball just overshot. So Freeling with another entry. Back in now. That's a good mark. He's just going to settle it down a little bit now. Schultz looking to find a target. Well defended down there. Taken over the boundary line. Barossa's defence have been magnificent today. When Freeling have had an opportunity to go forward, they've just had answers to almost everything. Big tap there from Ross. So we'll have a ball up, probably 35 metres in front of the Freeling goal. Ball just bounces around.
Bit of a scrum. Oh.
And a hat kick out of the pack. Leads to a minor score for Freeling.
Possibly had a bit more time than he thought there, but
Barossa's defensive pressure is such that they're worried at all times. And they move the ball clearly, quickly. He's got targets done on the outer wing. A lot of defensive pressure there.
the good thing is that they're manning up. Freeling are manning up a little bit better than they have.
Yes.
So this is why we're getting a bit more scrappy play,
Now
a bit more
seeing
congestion.
one-on-ones
Yep.
through the middle of the ground, which we didn't see any of that in the first half. It's Joel Cochrane out there on that outer wing, defending well. He's a good-sized player. He should be able to impact the game. That hack kick off the ground there from Koshel. Luckily, no one's head was there. Good pick up off the deck, under pressure. Handball to a player under even more pressure. He slammed it in the deck. So we'll have a ball up, almost in the middle of the ground. Koshel dancing around. Gets the tap down to a player who's wrapped up immediately. He's taken almost in a slam tackle. Trey Gant laying the tackle there. He's bringing physicality into the midfield. That big punch forward for Barossa. Cut off. Unfortunately, Freeling player couldn't regain the ball. Beautiful kick forward. Straight away finds a Bulldog just on the 50. That's Bray McConnell.
But the good... Oh, is he called holding? That's very quick, but...
That's a very hot holding the ball. Charlie Oliver just keeps going.
But the good thing is that there's a lot more defenders there for Freeling that time round, as opposed to just getting the ball in nice and easy.
He kicks the ball back in the direction where it came, finds Daff. So they're now playing on that defensive side. That wind is starting to pick up again in Barossa District's favour. Kleinig through the middle, finds a player, gets the handball back. Handball's off to Schultz, who goes down the middle.
This is good.
Hits Scotty Dutchke. Dutchke's got a chance to drive it into the 50
keep
now.
Keep it going. Come on, keep it going.
Unfortunately, Barossa's defence shuts down a lot of those options. Clears over the player he was looking for. Ross now with the ball, dances a little, goes back.
Tried to do too
Tried
much.
to kick, but unfortunately put a little too much sauce on it. So a minor score.
I don't think... Oh, it is a minor, is it? Yep. No, I don't think it even was a minor. I think it was out on the full, Mike.
My bad. I do make mistakes occasionally. Gant now with the ball. He's got a player open on the far side. They bring the ball back in now. It's a dangerous kick. Player brought it to ground with one bounce. He's taken down immediately in the tackle. He gets up sore.
Hoppity, hoppity.
Alex Tobin. Bouncing ball. McConnell read it best. Great handball off to running player. I think it was Dew. Hits Rizik deep in the pocket.
I think it was Werner, Isaac Werner, out there on the wing.
And that kick finds Griffiths. Griffiths had a launch at it. Just ball went through his hands.
But again, it's because there's pressure by the Freeling defenders.
Freeling running the ball out nicely. Now that was Hales.
Both overrun
Schultz
it.
missed the ball.
Killian working hard, almost got the tackle, puts the pressure on, gets the ball
Killian,
back.
great work out of defence. And got Tobin trying to get out of the way. The ball followed him.
Ball was going faster than he was. But that's good. I mean, on Monday night when you look at that, Killian, the work rate that he put in there was excellent.
He's worked hard all day. He's been under a lot of pressure in defence. Ball in now. We've got Griffiths jumping over the top of Koshel. Players crash to the ground in tackles. The physicality level of this game has gone up at least 2 or 3 notches. So Schultz taking the ground off the ball. Ross was unable to get to the ball that time. Well defended. Strong mark taken for the Barossa. Good handball to a running player. They find a target.
That's Sander Bates. He was the ruckman that did that big jump at the other end. So he's working hard.
And hits Shillabeer just inside the 50. He puts the ball up high. Well defended there. Charlie Oliver grabbed the ball. He is smashed in a tackle by Brady Griffiths. It's a fair tackle, but it's hard. Driven into the ground, but didn't do any damage to his head.
No, he messed his hair up a little bit. He had to readjust his headband there.
Well, that'll take an hour to fix these days with these young players. He kicks with Truly, finds teammate. And it's another precision pass coming out of defence. It's Benny Heinrich. His low pass is too low. It's chipped off by a player who read it well.
Now listen to that noise. That's the doggies calling for it everywhere, all over the ground.
The dogs are talking. And definitely they've been the louder team on the day. A lot of voice.
Beautiful pass.
And that is a magnificent, long, direct pass hitting Rizik on the chest. He didn't have to deviate off his lead. He handballs off to Shillabeer, who kicks a minor score. So unselfish from the Bulldogs. But that pass from the half-back line hit a player 40 metres from goal. Freeling bringing the ball in now. Heinrich under that ball, couldn't bring it to ground. Good strong tackle. Holding the ball, that is red hot.
Well, he took him on, so I guess it's fair. It was very quick.
But Dutchke, master of tackle. A little indecisive at the moment. He's got a player in the middle. Decides to ignore him. He's going to play on, go longer. Finds
terrible.
a Barossa player.
That's terrible.
15 metres clear of any player in any direction. That's really disappointing for a player of that standard. Barossa now moving the ball out. They find Shillabeer. He's got no one on him, so he decides to wander on. Looking for Rizik. Well defended. Daff now. Handball's back. He's got Muster. Finds Cochrane. Cochrane coming to the near side. He hits Koshel. Koshel's kick chipped off there.
Nathan Casbolt.
Casbolt drives the ball back to the 50.
And Isaac
He finds Werner, who's been industrious all day. Werner kicks into a spare patch. Freeling able to clear. Kicker with a shot on goal. And he's kicked a brilliant running goal against the flow. Daniel Kickle. He's running towards the boundary, kicked it over his left shoulder. Beautiful goal. And another goal brought to you by Ray White Craigmore, the premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. Definitely this game is going up a cog or two intensity-wise. It's something Freeling needed to bring from the first bounce of the game. They're bringing it now, but unfortunately the damage is pretty much done. Ball going forward now.
Very quick out of the centre, so chance for Freeling to answer. Captain, isn't it?
Yes, Ben Heinrich's got a shot on goal. This is definitely gettable by his standards. Slight breeze in his face. Makes good contact.
I think he's missed.
Just offline. And while we've got a break in play, scores from one of the other grounds. Currently at South Gawler 9-9, 63, leading Kapunda 3-4, 22. That's another game that does have ramifications on the finals chase. Kapunda are one of the teams battling with Barossa Districts to try and take that fourth spot.
And back here, we've got a ball up, out on the wing. Ross just muscled the ball out of the ruck, kicked it straight away. Just crept into the forward 50, but there's Bulldogs everywhere. Oh, great tackle.
He's taken down by Schultz in a beautiful tackle.
Too high, apparently.
He'll have a whinge to the umpire. It's in his nature. Shillaby going back now. He's got players screaming for it.
To play on.
Gets long under it.
Great mark there.
Hales planted himself under that footy. He knew he had it the whole way. He goes short. Finds Dutchke.
Not so... That's better. Not take so long that time, Dutchke.
Yes, that's a better kick. He finds Oliver, who's...
outside his range, I'd say.
No, Polton.
Oh, Polton, is it? Sorry.
Polton's going on the left. Short pass. He's found a target. That's better footy. That's smart. He's hit someone within range. He's going back. He's going to take the shot. It's Heinrich, the captain. No wonder he's going to put the responsibility on his own shoulders.
So he didn't get the captain's goal last time. Can he get it this time? You were right behind it. You'll be able to follow the ball in.
Coming in now. Takes a little hop step. And has just shanked that off to the right. And falls short. Freeling able to gather. Chipping the ball back inside. They've found a player on his own.
Jonathan Ross again.
Jonathan Ross, he's within range. Siren's gone. He'll be taking the kick from probably almost 40 metres out. Not too much of an angle to speak of, but he should register the last score of the third quarter after the siren.
He's running in now. Looks good off the boot. No, it's drifting away.
So a minor score for the Redlegs, and that will take them to 4-1. 2-26, trailing Barossa District 12-12, 88 on the Beach Barossa scoreboard, and three-quarter time here at Freeling Oval. Although the score indicates that the game is well and truly one-sided, the intensity of that third quarter was really enjoyable to watch, Glenn.
It was the best quarter of football so far, even though Freeling didn't get the results they wanted. They're just a bit cautious about going forward, I think. There's a There's an old saying in sport, Mike, actually it's not in sport, it's in war, that a poor plan executed right now is better than a great plan executed perfectly next week. And I think the trouble is that they spend too long looking for where to go, and by that time they've flooded back, no space, no chance to score.
Again, a lot of that goes down to Barossa's back six and the way that they have performed today. They've been outstanding. Also, their midfielders are willing to work back into defence and chop off those passing lanes. We've seen a few players drift in and able to chip off those short, direct kicks just by reading the play and working hard. Freeling have to find a way around that, whether they've got players who are willing to make longer leads towards the player with the ball rather than running away from them and expecting them to kick 55 metres into the wind. They've got to come up with some way of moving the ball with precision and just moving it quickly, as you alluded to.
I mean, I don't disagree with you about the back six doing very well, but it's that thing of if you get it in there quicker, you're putting more pressure on them. So because it's taking so long, they've got enough time to set up, and so they're looking good. And I'm not saying they still wouldn't be good otherwise, but if you can't get them out of position, can't catch them unawares by some quick delivery, then they're always going to have an easy beat knocking you out, I reckon. So.
Yes, we did see that. Their first goal of the quarter, when they moved the ball in and Jonathan Ross was able to go one-on-one against his defender.
Yep.
His size at 6'6", he was able to take a clean mark, go back and goal straight away. It's not difficult, it's simple footy. Give your forwards a chance one-on-one and just put it to an area where they can go and get it.
So Freeling obviously don't really have much chance to win this, but what do you want them to do in the last quarter to get something out of the game?
I would like them to break even in this last quarter, not give up and let a flood of goals in. I want to see a couple of their young players really step up. Charlie Oliver, I'd like to see him play on the ball this quarter for the entire fourth quarter.
Yep.
And just start to him and with Kleinig, another young player, they're the players of the future for the Redlegs. I want to see them now put their hand up and say, I'm the guy. You know, you've got Dutchke, who's played a lot of footy. Move him to the half-back line. Just let him read the ball across there. Put some acid on the kids and say, go get it. And show us what you've got.
And the Bulldogs, are they going to be going full on or just trying to keep safe,
I
not
think
getting any injuries?
They need percentage because that's one area where they are struggling on the ladder. So they're going to want to pile on as many goals as they can. They can't afford to consolidate. They will want to go with their absolute one wood and just try and run over the top of Freeling in this fourth quarter. But for me, what I'm looking for is Freeling to say, this last quarter is about our future. This is about 2023 and beyond. And the wind is almost non-existent. The flag is limply trying to give Freeling some hope, but I don't think it's really helping.
Yes, it was a funny quarter, that one, because they had a similar number of inside 50s, similar number of centre clearances, but 6 goals to 1 in that
And
quarter.
a big kick out of the ruck contest there. Comes out to this flank. Beautiful pick up by Polton. Killian with handball there. Finds Oliver. Oliver's taken front on, taken down heavily. Barossa player did well to avoid the head there.
Yep, Nathan Casbolt
Oliver gets up gingerly.
does his hair again. It's the second time he's had to do his hair.
Well, it is important. Several players went up for Barossa there. None of them able to connect with the ball. Great working defence there. Strong mark taken. That was Alex Stone and the veteran. Been around forever. The back six working beautifully again for the Bulldogs. Just willing to take their time and handball, give each other a chance. Kicking the ball out. Now they find Shillaby, who's worked back from the forward line. His work rate today has been sensational. He's going down the boundary line. Goes long. That's at least a 65-metre kick. And seemingly effortless. Killian on his hands and knees gets the handball out. Unfortunately chopped off by the dogs.
Still blustering it forward, sort of, Freeling are.
They're just pushing it forward by any means. Freeling coming forward now. Well defended there by Tobin. His ball chopped off by Muster, who's taken down after he took the mark. Nothing untoward. He gets up. He's looking for someone. The leads are well and truly too far away for his kicking ability. So he goes across goal. Freeling going down the defensive side. They've found someone loose. That's Hales. I think
Unfortunately,
he's
there's no
gone
one home.
long.
No one
But
home for
he
Freeling. Oh,
has kicked it to a Barossa player who was all on his own, and
Alex-
he's dropped it.
Alex Stone dropped a stone.
Dropped like a stone, yes. Freeling able to clean up there now. Going forwards. Great defensive work there.
Dutchke got it, did he?
Dutchke with a little grubber kick. That's another goal for Ray White Craigmore. You're a premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs, but that was a great goal from Dutchke. But really good, strong defensive work by Hayden Trainer. Unfortunately, he was outnumbered 3-1. He's had the big job all day. Whenever the big men are resting down forward, he's had them.
He's not a great size himself, is he?
He's solid, but he's not a monster.
No.
Giving away probably 3 inches in height to Koshel and plenty of kilos and muscle and a lot of ink. Reeling with the ball in the middle, but a little handball pickpocketed by Shillabeer. He spins around, kicks forward.
Makes you wonder if he's playing in the centre of the ground. Not
He
up
is
for-
pretty much playing
wherever
in
hell
the
he
middle
wants.
on the ball wherever he wants to go. He's got a roving commission. And why wouldn't you? The performance he's turned in today, it's a 3-voter for sure. Freeling clearing the ball back out now. Ball goes over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in inside Barossa's forward line. This spells trouble for Freeling.
Look at that. Beautiful
Too
roving.
easy. Beautiful crumbing
number.
there. Brendan Dew, that is
Yeah.
just so
Just
smooth.
beautiful.
He's a cut above most players in this competition, and he showed it right there. That is an absolute joy to watch.
He knew exactly where that ball was going the moment the throw-in
He
came.
read that like a really cheap children's book.
Wow, is that another old sports saying or another Teakle original? I think I like the energy one better.
I can't take credit for that one, though. But Miles coming in now. Hadju wins the tap. Koshel able to crumb the ball. Freeling with a kick forward. Just misses everyone. It's turf. Player taken, wraps it up immediately. So we'll have a ball up probably 35, 40 metres out, almost directly in front for Freeling. Ross in the ruck. He gets the tap. Well read by Barossa. He's grabbed in a tackle straight away, and after the whistle blows, he's smashed into the deck. Players come in now. They're giving their opinions on it. Some thought it was at least a 4.2 on the diving score. One of the judges holding up a 3.4. He really didn't like it.
Well, thankfully he'll get crossed off along with the 9.2, and it's just the average of the rest, so...
I am brushing up on my diving scoring for the Commonwealth Games.
Straight off the
Killian
boot.
with a strong kick there. Beautiful. That's his first goal of the game. And just an important goal for Freeling just to keep their heads above water.
Is it the start of the comeback, Michael?
I think optimism is a great trait, but I think you might be too optimistic in this point. But that's good fight being shown by the Redlegs. They're a proud club. They don't give up easily. And Killian has been impressive today. He's been
Worked
going
hard
all
day.
game.
Yep.
He was best on ground, in my opinion, last week. And he's put in very well again today. Carmichael just took all the
Look
space,
at that.
rucked at his own contest, kicked the ball around the corner, found Heinrich. Sam Carmichael, is he the secret weapon that they should have had in the ruck earlier in the day? This is game number 201. I've got to say something nice about him.
Well, what I liked about it was fast, Michael. As I've said before, catch the defenders unaware. It was a bit lucky, but, you know, sometimes
But you make your own luck.
Exactly. That's an old saying in sport, isn't it? Make your own luck.
Yes. He goes through. He puts it through. That's 2 in a row for Freeling. I think that's the first time today they've achieved that.
Another little conversation taking place.
Yes, and it's probably pointless now. The game is pretty much done.
I think there's a conversation because it was a point, Michael.
Ball comes out. Just goes into the crowd. So Killian with the kick in. He finds a target just inside the forward 50. Bolton's too far out. He's looking for someone, and they've found a mark. Jonathan Ross,
he's
and
given
he's
away a free.
given away a free kick. He put his hands on the defender to hold him out. That's disappointing for Freeling, but the umpire was in perfect position. And as far as the pushing and shoving after that point, that's the sort of fight Freeling could have shown in the first quarter. That quick handball caught at his teammate unawares. Just a little bit too good for him. He's taken the ground, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Probably 15 metres around from the point post. Koshel takes it out of the ruck.
And then everyone sits on him.
He's eventually taken down. Again, really no impact on the contest there. Gets his fist to it that time. That was a good throw.
Yep, excellent throw. But umpire right there in prime position chose not to call it.
That's a kick around the corner and just offline. So a minor score again for Freeling, but they are pushing. They're knocking on that door.
Person inside saying, no, go away, we're closed.
Goal umpire just not willing to open up. And that cold wind just cutting through here at Freeling.
Ah, it's not that cold, Mike. Suck it up. I can't feel below my neck at the moment, so...
Well, that's probably not a bad thing. Brendan Dew played on there from fullback. Hasn't paid off as Freeling able to drive the ball back in again.
Oh, that's going
Koshel, too big, too strong. Size does matter. He kicks the easiest of goals. Just monstered his opponent out of the way.
See, I don't know. What's the difference between that and what Ross did a few minutes earlier?
Absolutely nothing, but the umpire was in a different position and probably a different mindset and mood.
Maybe they figured if they said no to Koshel, there might be some words said.
That often happens, and he has picked up a lot of yellow cards over his time here in the BLG.
Still, it was a great goal. Good mark, good strength.
You've just got to worry about the poor guy that has to stand in. And then when he goes into the ruck, you've got Ross.
Yeah, it's a tough
Or
combination.
Carmichael. They're all 6'5 plus. Big Sammy in the ruck again. Killian battling hard. Dutchke, he gets the handball, but it's cut off. But he follows it up with a massive tackle.
See, this is good. This is good to see from Freeling. They're fighting hard in there. They're not letting them run away.
And there we have Oliver takes the ball. He's taken the ground and a really good tackle. A good safe tackle. He gets up limping. It's not his hair that's hurt that time. Carmichael up in the ruck. He's beaten. Cochran got the ball. Ball coming in now, just over the top of Heinrich. Barossa clearing now. That's a good kick. Finds a player in the middle of the ground.
Kickle.
This is what Barossa have been good at all day. Moving the ball out of defence. Doesn't come off that time, but they've got players working. Tobin grabs it. He moves it on quickly. They've got players out there.
Good D from Freeling.
Riggs out there fighting hard, but Freeling defending.
When they're playing man on man, they actually, they're giving themselves a chance.
Yes, and that's something that I think I spoke about in the first quarter, that they needed to just try and shut things down. And that's better. Moving the ball through the middle of the ground.
A little bit high.
Ross had great position on his defender. Probably outdid himself by trying to move around him. Barossa now with
good
ball.
pick up.
That is great run from Tobin. He's the quickest player out there.
Needs a left foot though, by the look of it.
Yes, definitely. They're not cheap. You can't just pick them up. Rizik now moves around. He blasts that ball. Looking for Griffiths.
No, I think that's Xander Bates again out there.
Oh, okay.
They both look alike, those two young blonde
Yes,
fellas.
and another goal for the Bulldogs. Just that quick movement. Speed kills. Rizik took the game on, put it out in front of his teammate and said, here, go and get it. Create something.
So it's Ryan Gray, I think, wasn't
Ryan Gray, the mystery man.
it? Why do you say that?
Oh, round one, he was the player that we didn't know who he was because he wasn't listed. And Josh Whitworth decided to throw me under the bus by messaging me and telling me it was someone completely different. And then a moment after I had announced it, messaged me back and said, I've got no idea who he was. I was just bored and needed a laugh.
With friends like yours, Michael, who needs them?
Correct. Koshel had back position there. Ball went over his head, unfortunately. Bounces out of bounds. So, with no touch, that'll be a kick in for Barossa. Good movement from the Dogs once again. This is where they've excelled all day. That movement out of the back line.
Yep.
They lead hard. Rizik has come up the field. He's worked his guts out all day. He's covered a lot of territory.
A few less options at this time of day, as you'd expect. After
Sheila Beer still working hard. He's been unstoppable. That mark was dropped, but he had time. They're just working hard for each other, these Bulldogs. The interlap, this is like a training drill. There's always someone offering. They went over the top of that contest. So Freeling with a chance now. Looking for targets. He's got Muster in the middle of the ground. He's ignored him. He's gone down the defensive line. He's found a player, and I think it's Killian again. Chips into the middle. He's found a player. That's Lovell.
So they're keeping possession, but they're not getting much closer to the goals. Back into the centre. It's this next step that's letting them down.
The driving kick just goes over the top of the head of the intended player. Barossa just calm under pressure. That little kick popped it up. Only one player had a chance at it. That's delicious movement out of defence. That's
Good kick
so
from
good. Pinpoint.
Yep.
Defender had no chance. The skills on display at the moment from Barossa all day have been just beautiful. Freeling now, turn the ball over.
Oh, there's a Paddock out there if he had it, but he didn't.
Just
Good
went over the
defence
top
in
of
end.
his
Yep.
intended target. Barossa player who took it, he was taken to ground immediately. Freeling win the ball back. They're fighting hard now. Ball comes around. He grabs it. He's taken the ground. Spun around 3 times, but had no prior.
Well, they're not going to win, but they've certainly redeemed themselves a little bit from their rather poor first quarter. So that's something positive for Freeling today.
Rizik now running. He's taking a bounce. He's had more bounces today than I've seen him in the last few years. Handball was slightly astray.
Someone's down here.
Barossa player's gone down. Might have taken a little bump to the face. He's up. He's okay. Just rub some dirt on it, mate. You'll be right. Looks like Shillabeer is going to be taking a shot for goal. Be kicking from 45. That's well within his range.
That's a mark. That's a cracking mark. Yeah.
Really good mark taken
Craig
just
Dowles.
on the line.
Oh, it's not paid. That's a shame.
It was a good attempted mark of the day.
I'd call it the marked point of the day.
Marked point of difference.
Okay.
Freeling now looking to clear, just devoid of targets.
Except for that one.
Finds Oliver in the middle of the ground. Oliver's been good today. He's good every week. I think he's one of the best young players in the comp. He finds Muster. Muster moves the ball quickly with purpose. That's forced over the line, but we'll have a boundary throw in almost on the forward 50 for Freeling.
No, a kick in. Is it last touch? Is that what they're called?
Must be last touch. I thought the players got a hand to it. My bad. And that's a really strong contested mark. Gave the quick handball. It's that movement that sets it up. Beautiful kick there. Finds player on the outer side. He goes forwards. Missed the target, but Barossa just keep hammering that ball forward.
Good defence from Freeling. Saw them out of trouble.
Looking for Dutchke out here on his own.
Chance to switch,
the
but
overhead.
there's no one really up for them.
He's got someone in the middle of the ground, but he's under pressure. Over to Crum. Schultz now with the ball. Bit of an up and under kick. Koshel's at the back though. Little bit of a shove.
The Barossa Districts players are asking what there. I think they felt there may have been...
There was a shove from this angle. We were perfectly side on. The umpire was coming in from forward of the play.
But when you see a player fly forward like that, it does suggest...
It is pretty obvious, but the umpire sometimes has to make a decision. And that's a beautiful kick. He's got another goal there. Big Koshel. It's another goal for Ray White, Craig Moore. Your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. So we're well into the final quarter here. Nearly...
Exactly 19 minutes in.
19 and a half minutes into the fourth quarter on the Ray White, Craig Moore time clock. So Freeling, they've put up a good fight this quarter. It's probably been their best quarter for the day in terms of competitive-wise. There's a few minutes left. Barossa looking to grab some extra goals for percentage. Freeling still just trying to tread water and keep themselves on level pegging in this quarter. Rizik's gone into the middle for Barossa, so the big gun's in there. No one able to win that touch, but Killian running through, grabs it. He kicks it on. Barossa players, their defence is working hard again. Well won by the Freeling player out there. That handball back in doesn't advantage anyone. So we'll have a boundary throw up on the half-forward line. Running through the ruck. Freeling player got the kick. That handball comes out. Finds Polton. No, Oliver it was. His flying shot on goal. Just offline as he was pushed as he kicked it. I think Polton's probably, with Coulthard going off injured, has moved himself into close to best player contention for the Redlegs, along with Killian.
So the Bulldogs bring it out fairly easily again, as they've done for most of the day.
Just willing to move the ball by hand. weaving it until they get the right kick. Rizik in the middle. He plays on. That handball to a running player. They've always got an option. Good strong defensive mark. They go across the face of goal.
Oh, God.
Not the best kick. Luckily, he wasn't under pressure. He was able to regather. Kicks it back to whence it came.
Whence? It's an antiquated term there, young man.
Freeling now moving the ball into the middle of the ground. This is under pressure. Comes unstuck for them.
Oh, it's a bit of tunnel ball going on here. No one wants it.
Player ducks his head. He's wrapped up. The umpire didn't reward him.
Rightly so.
Correct. Comes out this side. Dew with a kick. He finds Shillabeer all on his lows. He runs on. Kicks the ball deep. Griffiths has to go and chase it. Ball's knocked over the boundary line, so we'll have a boundary throw in Barossa's forward line.
I feel like Schiller would be better off staying up a bit closer to goals. He hasn't scored as many in the last half since he's been roaming around a bit.
I think he's just got that roving commission to be that link between
I think they've
defence and forward.
Well, I understand that, but I feel like they've got plenty of them, and he'd probably be getting rewarded a bit more with some intelligent leading. Maybe have scored a few more goals.
I think that he's being very unselfish, and I think that's a trait of this Barossa team at the moment under Eric Kells. They're playing for each other. They've got a great culture, and I think that's why they are a chance to be a smoky in the finals. Great defence there from Freeling. Handball unfortunately goes to a player under pressure. He's wrapped up. So the boundary throw in just outside the 50 in Barossa's forward half. Freeling coming out of defence now, looking for Heinrich. He takes a good contested mark. Handball's on. This ball looking for Dutchke. That's a good strong mark taken overhead. Brings the ball back in. He's found a diving player.
Lovell again.
Lovell, he's worked hard all day. That up and under kick, probably not the best.
No.
Really didn't advantage many people. Heinrich at the back, that handball to a player. He bounces off. Schultz tried to spin.
Has he missed it?
He smothered and has gone nowhere. So Barossa were able to move the ball out through Shillabeer, who's worked right up the ground. I look forward to catching up with Schultz after the game to ask him about that.
Yeah, tried to push off and got smothered.
They're not the brightest, the Schultz twins, so it's not unexpected. Barossa slamming the ball in now. Right to the goal face. Well defended there by Freeling. A lot of desperation.
At the risk of revisiting a theme, it's getting pretty cold here, Mike, so... Can I go yet, or do we have to...
Unfortunately not. Carmichael with the ruck tap there.
Soccer off the ground for a goal. Just trying to work out who that was. Number 5 again. Our man, Brendan Dew.
Brendan Dew continue on his good day. He should be a chance to be in the votes. It'll be all Barossa on the umpires' cards at the end of the day, you'd think. Shillabeer should take the top spot as we're now moving into time on in the final quarter here at Freeling Oval, so you can almost get away, Glenn.
Almost. I still like the idea as they're talking before the game of the slaughter rule. in American sports, if it's so far ahead, one team is so far ahead, they call it off. So.
Not at the good level.
No, well, not at the good level, but at the cold level.
That's a good handball from Dew. Killian in pursuit. He's the one who read it best. He goes back by hand. That player was under pressure. Barossa fighting hard still. They want some more before the siren goes. They're doing an Oliver. Do you grab the ball? That handball off under pressure to Rizik. That's another goal for Barossa. That's beautiful work. Beautiful stoppage work from Brendan Dew. That's the second time he's done that close to goal. Last time he kicked the goal himself. This time he was under pressure, able to get the handball off to a teammate. And another goal for Ray White Craigmore, your premiership team for real estate in the northern suburbs. And really, Barossa are putting this game to bed now.
Well, you said percentage is going to be important to them, so they're maybe just trying to score a last couple of goals to whack that percentage up a bit.
They'll be looking to slam on a couple quick ones now, but it's going to be hard to see. Freeling have really stepped up the intensity, so that quick movement isn't there anymore. Hadju with the tap. Freeling working hard now. Kleinig runs through traffic, gets the ball back to Hales. He handballs off. That's better movement into the forward line, but there's no one on the end. That last kick costing them as it has all day. Tobin in the back pocket. He pops the ball up. Finds player. Nangle now on the left boot. Put it up for Brady Griffiths. He wasn't able to take the mark under pressure. Charlie Oliver taking another grab. He's got players screaming ahead of him. Ball comes off the shank on the side of his boot. Punched out of bounds. I'd love to see a kicking doctor get hold of Charlie Oliver for a while.
Why is that?
Just to work on his action. It's probably the one part of his game that's just letting him down at the moment. Beautiful mark there. That's the end of the game. That's the end of our live stream match for the day. But better players as you saw them, Glenn, for Barossa.
It's got to be Shilabir. 4 goals. Dominated wherever he was. Great to watch. Then it gets a bit tougher. It's spread out a little bit. So Dew would be someone in contention. Rizik could be someone in contention.
I think you've found the top 3 there. But
have I? Oh, well done.
The defence, I would give them all a mention. As a unit, they were fantastic. Pryor was very good. I thought Hadju was very good in the ruck. But overall, I thought as a team, they performed beautifully.
Yeah.
The balance of team football was probably as good as I've seen from most teams this year. For Freeling, it's a little bit harder. I thought Oliver was sensational.
Well, was Coulthard till he got injured.
Coulthard was clearly their best player before he went down with that ankle injury. And from there it got harder, but I thought Charlie Oliver fought hard all day.
Yep.
Jonathan Ross was good at times.
Killian was good.
Killian was very good. Kleinig, Polton, a couple of the others were good. Hales was very good down back. But overall, I thought there wasn't enough effort in the first half. When the game was there to be won, they were too passive.
Yep. They fought back a little bit at the end, but yeah, it's just the slow start, the lack of accountability in the first quarter. You just get behind the 8 ball, and it's very hard to catch up from there, isn't it? So.
Yes, very disappointing for them. Disappointing way to play after a really good effort last week. They would have come in to this game full of hope, hoping for a chance at a win, but unfortunately it's gone begging. So it's a really strong win, 58-point win for Barossa Districts, which is good for them, keeps them in the hunt for the finals. And depending on other results today, they could be right on the cusp of the 4 at the end of this round. That's all from us today here at Freeling Oval. We're going to try and go and get warm, but hopefully you'll join us next week for next week's live stream match.